Well, welcome back to Gen TV. And as you always noticed, the usual suspect, my friend Gustavo Vala, is with me here to help me dissect what's going on in our world. How you doing, my brother?
It's great. I'm on furlough, so I have a limited amount of time. So we got to get as many topics in as is possible.
Yes, we've been missing you, man. How you been doing, man?
Doing really well, taking care of the family. The holidays, as you know, is always challenging, but you want to make sure that you give the attention that they deserve and also give yourself some self care, but also realize that we're very fortunate to be where we are in this moment in time and doing whatever I can to contribute in my own small world to this beautiful, beautiful planet. Being very sensitive to climate change and green energy, of course.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, let's dive right into it. You know what's going on right now. It's a lot to talk about, you know, and whether you choose to talk about politics, social, whatever is going on, is really, but it's kind of funny though. I'll probably let you read this. Go ahead, read. We listen.
Okay. Okay. Plumber discovers money, checks in wall of Joel Osteen's Lakewood Church years after $600,000 burglary. The 500 envelopes full of cash and checks were found behind a loose toilet as workers moved insulation out the wall. Wow. Talk about a
Wow,
discovery.
that's
Treasure
the
chest.
same reaction I have. Wow. I mean, what's going on here, man? Is this kind of money? Somebody's keeping the money at home?
Yes.
Is
Someone's
this?
hiding someone's hiding the offering plate in the toilet.
That's kind of interesting because I know people go to jail for not paying taxes. You know what does it look like?
Well, it seems to me, and as you know, churches have tax exempt status. That's why a lot of these folks who try to come off as religion, they want to be able to be to inure a benefit that the U.S. government gives to those individuals who are quote unquote religions and whatnot. So, but the Osteen family, as you know, has a long history. His father was a well known minister, and I think he died unexpectedly. And Joel Osteen was a young man when he had to take over the helm. So, somewhere along the line, the tradition of pastors and money and the commingling of funds, or in this case, the commingling of funds in toilets, seems to be something that happened over there. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. More importantly, what investigation will take place, if any, for this $600,000. We're going to call it
six hundred
toilet gate.
thousand dollars. This is amazing. I'm gonna put this back here. I mean,
A plumber discovers money, checks in a
can you
wall of Joel
imagine?
Osteen Lakewood after $600,000 burglary. The 500 envelopes full of cash and money
Full
were
of
found.
cash. So nowadays, the best way to get away with with murder or with crime is being exempt by the law. In this case, it's good to have a church because not to disown the churches, but come on, man,
Yeah,
that's too much money,
it
to keep
is.
at home and
It
to be
is.
discovered by a plumber.
Yeah.
That's what I'm coming from. If you have so much money that you don't even know where you put your money, then who knows how much more do we have in the toilet?
And that's a bad thing. And it's amazing because the same Joel Osteen, and once again, coming from four generations of Presbyterian ministers, I'm very sensitive to religion, to faith,
Of course.
to religiosity, and the importance of having knowledge. A higher being is orchestrating all that we're doing here as mere minions. But Joel Osteen had a bit of a run-in with his own parish because a few years ago, I think when one of the hurricanes, or either that or when they had that cold spell in Texas, he did not. He was very reticent and very reluctant. No, he just didn't want to have people in his church who were freezing. And I think the public relations nightmare was such a backlash that he reluctantly opened up his church, a church that people go to, regularly during the week, give money, and he's able to derive a benefit from. It's amazing that he all of a sudden didn't want to help these people with whom they every week are faithful members. So in the end, it shows that as Christians, we're not perfect. We're just forgiven.
Wow. We're not perfect, but do you think Joe Austin knows better? because having $600,000 in your house and you don't even know you have money,
Yeah,
and not to talk about how much we have in the envelopes. This is amazing when we talk about 500 envelopes
yeah,
full of cash and checks. That is troublesome. I'm trying to imagine if this man have this kind of money, because if I have $5 in one corner of my house, I would know I have five
yeah,
dollars.
yeah.
But 600,000.
It's all about scale. But remember, these guys are also multimillionaires, and that's not to give any justification. Who knows if you knew or not? Someone knew. Someone obviously took the time.
But can he give this some of this money to charity?
Oh, he should. I would recommend that Joel Osteen, the Lakewood Church, donate during this holiday season. We're in the midst of COVID and a variant of COVID, which I know we'll talk about later on. That it would be a great gesture, a great Christian gesture, to donate that $600,000 to various charities in the Lakewood area or around the world. Or how about this, to some orphanage in South Africa, which had been impacted by the variant of COVID.
Wow, wow, wow! I think that would be something great. Well,
Yeah,
maybe you're gonna force me to change gears here.
we'll see.
So talking about COVID, the man that we knew as Big Afro,
Yeah.
J. Phillips, who rose to fame on two seasons on American Got Talent, you know, has
Mhm.
died from COVID-19, complicated at in age 30. That's
Wow.
young. I mean, that's this again. As you mentioned. South Africa, you mentioned COVID-19. It is important for us to always keep in mind that this is not over. The pandemic is not over yet, and we're still losing people.
The
Um,
pandemic has legs, it has vibrancy, and more importantly, it just looks for bodies to regenerate and reconfigure. And 30 is such first of all, my condolences to his family and loved ones and all that people that mattered in his life. Age 30 is just when you're starting to kind of figure out life. And I'm not sure what his vaccination status was, but I know that he was a great talent and he was someone who contributed to the culture and fabric of American, particularly the kids of my daughter and your kids' generation. So I hope that wherever his soul is, that is resting in peace.
yeah, our thought and prayers go to the families of this young man. 30 is he was very young, and that's just to remind all of us that nobody's immune to this pandemic. You got to get yourself vaccinated. That puts you put you on a different side of this equation. And if you're vaccinated, of course that there's some stories that came out, especially when this variant from South Africa came out. It looks like some people that was already vaccinated will still get sick.
Yeah, you have these breakthrough cases, but think of the millions of people around the world. And full disclosure, I had two Pfizer shots and I had the Moderna booster about 10 days ago, and it wasn't too bad. I had a little side effects, a little soreness, but all of a sudden, then I'm glad that I have another layer of protection for myself, my family, my loved ones, and I want to give myself a chance if I should ever get it to at least have something built in, as opposed to being totally exposed with no cover and trying to fight off this virulent virus, which has killed more than 750,000 Americans, not to mention around the world. So every soul matters. And I'm just glad that I'm able to tell people to get vaccinated, socially distance, wash your hands, and pray that you and your loved ones don't have to undergo the ravages of this virus.
Yeah, and the variant from South Africa, you got to give credit to these people. When once it was out, they were courageous and honest with it. They came
Yeah,
forward and tell us about it. I think we should give them credit for that.
I do. And transparency is a great thing, particularly when we talk about global
Transparency.
health. If nothing else, Malik, wouldn't you agree that it shows how we're all interconnected? Something that's in South Africa has now made its way to Europe and now the U.S. So this thing is it's for real, and I think it's something we're going to live with probably for the lifetime. It might become an endemic, part of like the common cold, the flu.
Mm.
Whenever you can think like these viruses, which can shapeshift, to use a term that some of these conspirators, whenever you get something that can shapeshift and reconfigure itself, just when you think you have it covered, it's turned to something else, and you hope that the efficacy of the virus of the vaccines can keep up with it. So I'm just doing all I can. I'm glad that you and your family and all the people who are out there watching and who are supporting Gang TV. I hope that you're out there protecting yourself and your loved ones, because it's going to be around for a while. But we know that we have great scientists, and I know people like Malik will make sure to get the word out to the public.
Absolutely. Hey, listen, Miss Bevels, you're absolutely right. She just get vaccinated. Just get vaccinated, and it's simple. She is absolutely right. You even have NFL players laying about was that lying about
Yeah, yeah,
vaccination status?
exactly.
Why? It makes no sense. And she has absolutely right. I mean, why lying about vaccination? Why do at that level a lot of people look at these athletes as role models?
Yeah.
What do they have to lie about this
Well,
status?
and I thank you, Tamika, and all the other Tamikas out there, Bells, who are out there getting vaccinated. People don't realize that for those of us, and as you remember in my previous life, I was able to compete in 4 Olympic Games. And people don't realize that during the Olympics, Malik, that close to 3 billion people around the world watch the Olympics. That's why the whole sponsorship thing is so important. You're given a platform, you can use it for good or use it for bad. I think Aaron Rodgers misled the people, and he realized that when you're out there and you get the virus and then you try to play the role of student science, and what I was particularly offended is when he tried to bring in the great Dr. Martin Luther King into his mess. That's when I realized that, the clown show has arrived. So, Aaron Rodgers, just be straight. A lot of people rely upon you. And I hope that lessons can be learned that this thing is no joke. And I hope that you didn't infect other people, Mr. Rogers. Shame on you for not being candid. This isn't a game. It's for real, and it's life.
Absolutely, it's not a game, and people like him should be leading the way, using the popularity and the power, to inspire more people, especially young people, to get vaccinated. I think that's the proof of lack of good judgment, and we just hope a lot of people, young people across the nation, across this nation and around the world, are not following this. That is a terrible example
And if I could
of
just say one thing,
bad judgment.
Malik, one of the things that I'm so impressed with what you've done in terms of the whole format for Gain TV, I'm just disappointed in where America stands today, in that it's almost anti-science, anti-truth, anti-evidence, and it's almost like it's contrarian just to be ill-informed. I say shame on ignorance, shame on disinformation, and shame on weaponizing folks information that will be harmful and detrimental. It's not about making money upon the misery of others. It's
No.
about trying to help others. And so I hope that you and I are just one voice in a sea of voices. But remember, there are a lot of sharks out there who are making money off the death of people as it relates to COVID-19. And shame on all these people for doing that.
Yeah, well, I can agree more with you than same thing as our friend here who's watching the show, Tamika Bevels, was talking about vaccination being something all like the world. We've been get vaccinated for as long as we know this world.
Yeah,
What you could
polio.
talk,
Thank you for good assault.
pandemics pandemics are not new. She talked about yellow fever, Spanish flu, all of the kind of stuff have made human being get involved and get vaccinated whenever we have that's this. But the conspiracy theories, and now with social media, I've make the whole thing a controversy for no reason. And I believe we have to do better. When we know better, we should do better. And I want to thank our friends here who she's a supporter and an active supporter of our game show, always participating in
Thank you,
this
Tamika. Thank
yeah.
you, Tamika. Remember, we need more Tamika Vavels. Thank you for your support,
Yeah, absolutely.
and know that
Thank
your
you for
voice
watching.
matters.
Yeah, her voice really matters. She been on one of the pioneer of this show. She been on the show a couple of times, and we want her back here to educate people, especially when it comes to health. She's a professional, somebody I know for a long time who have a deep insight when it comes to educating people on how to protect themselves. So we look forward to see you on the show again. Listen, my friend, we're gonna take a quick break. When we
Okay.
come back, we're probably gonna talk a little bit more about vaccination is varying from South Africa, but also maybe get back into politics where we that's where we're political junkies.
Swim with the sharks.
Okay, we'll be back in a minute.
Gaboma and Friends of Gabon. The end of 2021 calls for a celebration. December 17th. Join us in Washington, D.C. for this year's gala dinner, celebrating Gabonese heritage and culture. Indulge in Gabonese cuisine. Entertainment by Diaspora Finest DJ Fly. Artistic performance by Gabonese talent group Tapala. And a special guest, Larry Gab. Hurry, seats are going fast. Visit thegalagabon.com and get your ticket today. Doors are open at 7 p.m. Dress to impress. Ladies and gentlemen, don't forget to put that African attire on and become a part of the tradition. Again, visit thegalagabon.com to get your ticket today. I see you on December 17th at 7 p.m.
Well, welcome back. If you're just joining us now, you're watching Malik and Gustavo Vela on our usual show,
Mhm.
talking about the local news and international news. Well, listen, my friend, before we took that break, I was talking about going back a little bit on the COVID-19, since life is about being healthy. If you're not healthy, then there's no need to be here. It doesn't matter how much money you have. So it's very important to insist on this pandemic and how we're all dealing with it. I was mentioned. We were mentioned at the beginning of this conversation. We mentioned South Africa and what's the importance of that country and its ability to tell people that there was something out there that we need to be careful about. But how do they come to that culture of being capable of tracking down these kind of viruses and then kind of put the world on notice? What makes South Africa so sharp when it comes to this kind of stuff? It,
Yeah, I think with the lesson there's some lessons to be learned on what not to do. As you know, I think China, and whether it's Wuhan or wherever this came from, there were some missteps. There was some secrecy, and I think a lot of people died that shouldn't have died. I think South Africa realized it had the infrastructure. It had a scientist who started to recognize that it is something that's not quite right here, and rather than err on the side of keeping things under wraps, she shone light, and light is a great disinfectant, and he let people know. And I think so. I salute the scientists and the scientists in South Africa for what they've done, and hopefully this will give us more of a lead time on how to challenge and deal with the challenges that have derived from this pandemic. So we have a little bit of a roadmap, and I'm glad that these guys decided to stay on the right side of the road as opposed to the wrong side.
Absolutely. And I also believe, and maybe correct me if I'm wrong, that the fact that South Africa went through the AIDS epidemic, they kind of they kind of put their resources in researching, and they have some sharp scientists that now are fully aware of how to track these diseases and protect the country. And this is kind of an example we want for the entire continent. This is an example for good leadership, and you can see how this country was able to just put us aside. Because if we have returned to the same case of COVID-19 the way we knew it, that could have been a very disastrous if we South Africa just shut their mouth like the Chinese people did.
Yeah, yeah. And we're assuming, and remember, and in all fairness to China, there were some scientists, right, who tried to alert people, and then they were shut down. Matter of fact, I know that one of the early scientists who developed or discovered COVID from his deathbed was telling people this is he. I guess they gave the sequencing to people and say what to look for. So, unfortunately, when in science, you have to you have to go through folks who pass away in order to understand how this thing works. But I
Right.
salute South Africa, and more importantly, it shows how the African continent is a capable continent, given the resources, talent, and the support of its governments. The infrastructure is phenomenal, and so I'm glad that there was, I think, 6 or 7 countries, Malik, in Southern Africa that were impacted, and it's now I think gone other parts of the world. But at least I think it was contained, addressed, and at least people were given fair notice and opportunity to protect their respective constituencies.
Absolutely. I know we're going toward the end of this program here. I want to talk a little bit about your girl, Stacey Abrams. Do you think she has a chance to win Georgia 2022?
I believe so. And I, first of all, I want to congratulate Stacey for her being, I think, either candidate for the Nobel Prize or actually winning it. That's a phenomenal. Alfred Nobel had a great thing when he found out to find people who are doing some great things. I hope that the people of Georgia wake up and don't allow cheaters to win. Cheaters never win. They may win the short term, but I want to let them know that the Republican Party in Georgia are cheaters. And even your Secretary of State and other people, the one gentleman who was upset during the election, he told President Trump people are going to die. He was very prescient. So cheaters in Georgia, stop cheating. Let every person vote. Don't worry about people if they're giving water to people in lines because it's hot. Stacey Abrams, if given the opportunity, will be probably the first democratically elected black uh, uh,
Women?
governor of Georgia, and people need to wake up. The world's changing. We're not living in the era of Bull Connor and dogs and water hoses. It's okay, people. Change is a good thing. And Stacey Abrams, you have my support.
Absolutely. She has our support. Yeah, and she highly qualified. I think if there's somebody that we can trust the leadership when it comes to understanding the politics and how to move this country forward, I think she highly qualified, and we are in support of her, and we wish that she should be the winner in 2022 because it's time to really advocate for people that deserve to be in office, people that have the population in an interest at heart, and then she one of them, and she have done so much.
She
you
has,
know
Malika. She
yeah.
has a high emotional quotient and a high intellectual quotient. She went to Harvard Law School, but even beyond that, she's a people person. I lost respect for the Georgia folks when they arrested that young lady who was knocking on the door when Governor Kemp wouldn't allow people to sign. I lost respect for them picking on an African American woman. We need to protect African American women here in the United States and around the world. And as a father of 2 daughters, know that you African women have the support of myself and Malik. Stop picking on African American women, whether it's Stacey Abrams or innocent women standing up for our rights. And men, you need to stand up and protect your own.
Absolutely, absolutely. Say no more. I mean, that's the blunt, straightforward statement that you made of the world have to know that it's time for us to stand up for our women.
Our women.
And they have done amazingly in this country, especially in America. There's a lot that run on the back of our sisters, mothers and aunties and daughters. So it's about time to stand up and say, you know what, this is it. Enough is
Men,
enough. Yeah,
men, I'm speaking to you men out there. Stand up,
yeah,
do your part.
yeah. Do your
Stop
part.
having these women carry your role. Shame on you men for abdicating your responsibility.
Yeah. All right. I mean, even our friend Tamika said, "Men, stand up for your woman." Yes,
We
yes,
have to.
indeed. Yes, indeed. Absolutely.
And
No,
you
I
and I
mean,
both know, Malik, that we would take bullets for our significant others and our
yeah, of
daughters.
course.
That's not
I
a
mean,
question.
it's no
And so it's
question, no
time for
question.
guys. So, gentlemen, I'm gonna go on. This is very personal to me. Men, Stop worrying about walking your Rottweilers to the park and
Yeah,
stop walking your children to school.
yeah. That's what it is. Listen, my friend. I know our viewers probably want some more for this conversation tonight. But this was just a quick comeback.
Yeah,
My friend and I will come back. We will give you the best, and we
yeah.
will make sure that you always get fresh news from us. Our show will end up here today, and remember
Don't
what?
call it comeback.
Yeah,
I've been here for years.
listen.
Because hope's on the way, right? Help is on the way.
Yeah, every day is a comeback, my friend. You always
Yeah,
come back fresh. You look sharp.
yeah.
And as always, and it's a blessing to have you around to give you perspective. And
Likewise, Malik.
I know,
Very proud of you. Very proud of
I
you, my
will,
brother. You know I'll do anything for you, day or night.
you know, thank you so much. It's a great show. We're gonna continue to give you a great show. We need your support, and my friends always say that there's no better person to call you to action. You got to put your money where your mouth is. We need more support from you guys. Make sure that you support Again TV, and we're gonna be here days and night to
And we
bring
look
to you.
forward to one day being able to find $600,000 behind one of our toys out here in
Ab-
Gainesville land.
absolutely, my friend.
Thank you,
Listen,
Tamika.
yeah, thank you so much for watching, and thank you for your contribution. We are well aware, of the effort you're taking, and your dollars means a lot for us to keep this show going. So please do not hesitate. You can see our donation. You can donate to our cash app, and we also gonna put a link below so that you can make your contribution. But the most important is actually what the commitment that this man on the game show, especially my friend who's always present here to give us the best of his analysis. And we and again, Tamika is right. You got to share and like the post. That's another way to support this show. Share it, and so that more people will let us know as a feedback that this is something that they will want to stay here, and and then we will continue to do our best to make sure that you have the best fresh news. um, okay, my friend, you have something else to say before we end this program?
I just want to thank you for your support. Thank you all, the Gain TV viewers. As Malik said, we can use your support. Anything and everything that matters. We love being able to share our perspective. We don't have all the answers, but after a combined, our lives together, about 100 years worth of experience. So hopefully we have a few things that we can share with you. And more importantly, I want to let the people of Equatorial Guinea know that we're coming, and we look forward to seeing you soon on the shores of Malabo.
Help
Is on the way.
is on the way.
Charge!